You're standing in line at a coffee shop. Someone cuts in front of you, and before you can even process what just happened, you smile. Maybe you even move aside. Later that day, a friend cancels on you last minute, again, and you tell them it's totally fine. No worries at all. But it's not fine. It was never fine. You just couldn't say that. And the strangest part? You don't even know why. This isn't just being polite. This is something older than that. Started way before the coffee shop, way before that friend. This is called the Fawn response. And once you understand it, you will never see yourself the same way again. Most people know about fight or flight. Someone threatens you. Your body either charges toward the danger or runs from it. Some people also know about freeze, that deer in headlights shut down when neither option feels safe. But there's a fourth response that almost nobody talks about, fawn. And unlike the others, it doesn't look like fear from the outside. It looks like kindness. It looks like flexibility. It looks like someone who's just really easy to get along with. But underneath that, it's the same nervous system doing the same thing, trying to survive. Just in a completely different way. Instead of fighting the threat or running from it, you appease it. You become whatever the room needs you to be. You shrink. You smile. You agree. You make the other person comfortable, even at the cost of yourself. Because somewhere, at some point, that was the safest thing you knew how to do. Here's what's important to understand. Nobody is born fawning. It gets learned. And it almost always gets learned early. Think about a child who grows up in a home where the emotional temperature is unpredictable. Maybe a parent had a short fuse. Maybe love was there, but it came with conditions. Behave a certain way, don't need too much, don't upset anyone, keep the peace. That child figures out very quickly that conflict is dangerous. That having needs leads to tension. That the safest version of themselves is the one that causes the least friction. So they become that version. They learn to read a room before they even walk into it. They learn to monitor other people's moods like it's a survival skill, because for them it actually was. The problem is that strategy doesn't stay in childhood. It follows you. Into your friendships, your relationships, your workplace, your entire adult life. You're still scanning, still shrinking, still performing okayness when you are anything but okay. Because fawning doesn't always look dramatic. It looks like agreeing with someone's opinion even when you completely disagree. It looks like laughing at a joke that made you uncomfortable. It looks like saying, "I'm fine," so automatically that you don't even check in with yourself first. It looks like apologizing in a sentence that didn't need an apology in it. It looks like working twice as hard to make someone else feel comfortable while quietly falling apart yourself. It looks like having a genuine opinion and then immediately softening it the second you sense the other person doesn't like it. You become a mirror. You reflect back whatever keeps the peace. And it's exhausting, not just emotionally, but physically. Because your nervous system is working overtime all the time, always alert, always managing, always one step ahead of the next potential conflict. And here's the part that really stings. People who fawn are often genuinely loved by everyone around them. Because they're easy, they're agreeable, they never cause problems. They're the ones who hold things together. But they often have no idea who they actually are. Because they've spent so long becoming what other people need that their own preferences, their own voice, their own boundaries, those got buried somewhere along the way. And the cruelest irony? The people closest to them often don't even notice. Because from the outside, everything looks fine. That's the whole point of fawning. It's designed to look fine. It just costs the person doing it everything. Recognizing this in yourself is not a small thing. Because for most people who fawn, they genuinely believed they were just a naturally agreeable person, a good friend, a low-maintenance partner, and in some ways they are. But there's a difference between choosing kindness and performing it out of fear. Real kindness comes from security. Fawning comes from the belief that if you stop, something bad will happen, that you'll be rejected, that someone will be angry, that you'll lose the relationship entirely. The work, and it is work, is slowly learning to tolerate that discomfort. to let someone be briefly disappointed and not collapse, to say what you actually think and stay in the room while the other person processes it, to discover that your needs are not a threat to the people who actually deserve to be in your life. You were not born agreeable. You became agreeable because at some point it kept you safe. And that was smart. That was survival. But you're not in that room anymore, and you are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to have a preference. You are allowed to be a little inconvenient sometimes. That's not selfishness. That's just being a person. And you've spent long enough pretending you don't need that. If this explains something you've felt but never had words for, share it. Someone in your life needs to hear this today. And subscribe if you want more psychology that actually goes somewhere.